All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Star Road Showdown Town Hall. I'm Brian Russell, the league director, and I'm joined by a lot of other league staff members tonight to give everyone an overview of our first event of season 9. We're calling it the Level Up season. You can see the arcade theme behind me here, the idea of leveling up student athlete. What are your goals for the season? Level up, getting more coaches, doing more training. That's the idea of the season. And we're off to a pretty good start. 850 student athletes registered in this league as of this morning, and registration is still open for the league. So there's still an opportunity to get some more kids on bikes here in North Carolina. I'm looking forward to seeing you all. My wife Kath and I were talking about that. What are we looking forward to the weekend? And it's been a while since we've seen a lot of you, and we are looking forward to seeing you. When I looked this morning, we have 560 student athletes registered for Salisbury. That might be one of the largest numbers we've ever had for an event. So I think everyone's excited to see each other again, and it should be a good time this weekend. So the idea of this town hall is to provide an overview of the weekend to everyone who wants to know. I think first we have our student athletes in mind. We're there for them, whatever those goals are for the weekend they want to achieve. We want to make sure they know what they're getting into. And then certainly the coaches who have been working with these student athletes for quite a while now. How do you help organize and come into the venue, and what are the activities, and how you get your kids pointed as those activities? And then certainly the parents who are quote unquote footing the bill and doing the driving and making sure they're there. We are here to give you an overview of what's coming up the weekend. We structure it in kind of three parts. I'll start with an overview of, what to expect, where to find information. We'll have a couple folks give an overview of camping and the venue, like what to expect when you arrive. And that's kind of the first section of the town hall. Then we'll go by day. We'll spend some time on Saturday and walk through the schedule, answer any questions. And then we'll spend some time on Sunday, walk through the schedule, and answer any questions. Anytime you have a question, please feel free to put it in the chat window, and we will do our best job to answer it in stride, or after each of those three main sections. We'll pause and see, hey, does anyone have any questions that didn't get addressed? Shell Frost, who is our programs director in the league, will help moderate that chat window and keep us on track as we go around. Speaking of the staff who joins me, I decided to wear my staff jersey tonight, as well as the season staff hat, which says leader and is arcade theme on that. And the reason I wore that is that's what you will see staff members all weekend wearing. So if you have questions as you show up to Salisbury and aren't quite sure where to go, what's going on, how to help out, whatever, ask one of us. That's where they're there to do. And we appreciate you being involved as much as you can in everything we're doing for the weekend. If you are a first time member of the league, welcome. If this is your first time going to a NICA event,
And
you're going to
and
have a,
Senator King's name to
and Beth, I think your microphone is on. If you want to hit mute real quick, that would be great. Okay, so in terms of questions, it has become the league norm to award the first student athlete who asks a question tonight with a prize. And we'll still do that tonight. We've got league sponsor Fidlock has a $50 gift card for that first student athlete who asks a question. But we also have for this season league sponsor Cognitive MTB, the second student athlete to ask a question will get a gift card for a free jersey from Cognitive MTB. The third student athlete to ask a question, a set of gloves from Cognitive MTB. And you can pick those gift cards at registration this weekend at the league trailer. So Shell will help keep us on track. Student athletes who ask those first three questions, we'll mark your names down. And again, we are here for you. And that's why we want your questions. So you know what you're getting into. And again, we're here to support your goals for the season when we do these events. So as I normally do, let me start with where you find the information about what's going on. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to go to the league website. You should be seeing the main page of our league website. And so to find information about Star Road Showdown, which is in Salisbury, North Carolina, go to the What's Happening tab at the top. And then a little bit different for this season, we've changed the format of our website. Click on the event weekends page, and then that will take you to an overview of the season at the top. There's all of our events through the spring, and just keep on scrolling until you find the box of the event you're looking for. And we will click on Salisbury here, which is our very first event. And this page is where you should be able to find everything you need to know about the venue. And I'm going to spend just a little bit of time walking through some of the links to make sure you know what you're clicking on and why we put it there. This first one is the event flyer. That's what you really need to know. And we'll spend some time all tonight walking through the event flyer and certain portions of it. So I'll pause there and click on that later when we bring it up. Right below the race flyer is a lot of information about the race course. You can download the GPX file to follow it. We've got a ride with GPS view of it, and we even have a race course video. Not a lot of changes. If you were with us last season, Race Salisbury, the race course hasn't changed very much. There are always some changes we make kind of day of as we're getting the thing set up, but generally it's the same course. But if you haven't seen it before, watch the video and you have an idea what you're getting into before you get there. Jenny Wood is our volunteer coordinator. She'll talk in a little bit about our volunteer needs. It's the best seat in the house to be part of the action. We still need some volunteers, but you can click on that and sign up even as you're doing the town hall here tonight. We still have some open spots. We'll have Brian Rabelais, our camping coordinator, talk about camping at Salisbury, what the procedures are to register, and we're pretty darn full at Salisbury, but what to expect when you come in. And then just like we did last year, race results. If you click on this tab, this will take you to the results page in the system called race results, and you can watch the results populate as they happen. As your student athlete is coming across the finish line, that time populates right there, and it's a pretty cool feature. Let me go over to the finish line video feed. We're going to try that for the first time this season. We will have a GoPro camera on the finish line. We will stream that video to our YouTube channel. Both of those features are very popular with mom or dad who can't make the event, or grandma, grandpa, whatever. Share those with them and they can see some of the action from afar. We are streaming those things out during our weekend. And then call-up lists. I put a version of call-up lists on the website this morning, and I'll talk more during the registration period. But because we have a late registration period, this year, those call-up lists will probably update late Friday or maybe Saturday morning with late registrants. So that's an overview of where to find the information. We're about to go to this venue map on the right here to give you an overview, but you can also find that in the event flyer. So as I click on the event flyer, you can find that same venue map. Let me scroll over. Right here linked in Salisbury Community Park. Same link will take you to the same venue map right here. And so good news for this year. If you remember last year, there was some bridge construction up here by the elementary school. That is no longer there. You can come in from the north, come in from the south. This is where you want to navigate to come to Salisbury Community Park and then come in the venue right here. Let me say right now, when you click on the parking areas, and there's about 390 in this lot and maybe 100 over here, and I said there's 560 student athletes registered for this race, it is going to be tight this weekend. It's always tight at Salisbury, but it's especially with those types of numbers going to be tight. So any opportunity you have to carpool is really going to help out. But as you pull in, you'll meet our parking coordinator, Sam, or any of the great parking volunteers. And we're always looking for parking volunteers to help guide you into a parking spot as you get to the venue. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to two people initially. First, Brian Rabelais, camping coordinator, and I'll keep the map up of the camping areas. Brian, just give everyone an overview of camping, any points you want to make, and then Ben will go to you to give kind of a venue overview and talk about pit zone, unloading, loading, things like that. So Brian Rabelais, you ready to give everyone a quick overview?
Sure, Brian. I appreciate it. So, Brian Rabelais, camping coordinator. So, as you're entering into the parking lot, our camping area is very full. We have 51 travel trailer, RV, pop-ups, caravans, whatever are the van campers. And that will all be in the red area that's on the gravel lot there. And then we have about 102 tent campers as of this evening. Tent camping will be on the baseball field as well as that large field back behind the baseball field and behind the RVs. We should have plenty of room to spread out and camp. So as you're coming through the parking lot, we'll kind of direct you. For those that with travel trailers, etc., we're going to be putting those on the right-hand side and asking you to pull over the curb into the grass as far as possible. Matter of fact, if you see the little blue icon there that looks like a travel trailer, that side, other side, Brian. The one that looks like a little camper van, is the camper vans. We're going to put the camper vans up against the ball field because that way you'll take up a regular parking spot. Excuse me. You'll take up a regular parking spot, and that area is a lot thinner than the travel trailer size. I will have a printout for all of the campers that I'll be giving out as they come in. Either I'll be there or the mayor will be there to give these out. Couple of key pieces of information about Salisbury. They have sent us some items that they would like us to go by, some guidelines, rules, whatever you want to call it for Salisbury. A big piece about Salisbury, though, is the gate. The gate will open at 7 o'clock in the morning, and at 7:30, the gate will have a combination lock put on it. He's putting his cursor up near where the gate is. There'll be a combination lock on it. The combination to that lock is in the printout that I'll give out at Salisbury, but it's 7529. From 7:30 to 10, the gate will be available to be operated via the combination lock. So either going in, going out, just put the combination in, let yourself in, let yourself out. They do ask that we close the gate back and put the lock back on it. Then at 10 o'clock, Salisbury, there is a Salisbury representative that camps with us. He will be putting a padlock on it that we don't have access to. EMS does. So if you happen to call EMS, they have access to the park, but there's really no in and outs after 10 o'clock. So real message to the parents, make sure they're on the right side of the gate by the time we get to 10 o'clock. I think that's some of the key pieces there, Brian. If anybody has questions, I'll be more than happy to take those, or otherwise, I'll be available and out around the camp area most of the weekend.
Okay, I appreciate that, Brian. And let me just give you a public note of thanks. Part of the reason we were able to open camping registration for all of our venues, which I think this is the first time we've ever done that at one time, was because a lot of the work you put into it. So thank you for all that detailed information, getting registration set up to let people register for any venue we're going to this season. That's phenomenal. Let me shift the agenda just a little bit. Ben, I'm going to give you time to set up the map. Let's have you start with our Saturday overview with the pit zone, the venue overview, and the arrival. So let's go next to Jenny Wood. Jenny is our volunteer coordinator. Jenny, any comments about volunteering? I know we still have some spots to fill. What do you want to share with the folks about getting involved this weekend?
Well, first I want to say hi to everyone. You'll see me at the volunteer tent when you get to the race venue. Right now we are currently about 70% filled on the Sign Up Genius. We did notice that were some student athletes that were signed up for helping out in the staging area. We have decided that we are not allowing student athletes in there. So if you could remove yourself and open up that spot for an adult or a coach or someone else, that would be greatly appreciated. We are going to be doing things a little different this year. I'm sure you've heard. We are not going to be doing meal tickets for our volunteers. We are going to have some snacks and such out for them to get when they come to sign up for their shift or to check in. We have raffle tickets that you will be getting. You can get a gift card for Cognitive. We've got 5 gift cards for Cognitive. We've got 3 $13 gift certificates from TC Screen Printing. And we got 3 Black Ops water bottle t-shirt combos that we'll be giving away at each race. We still have several critical areas in the sign up that we are going to be filling so that we can have a very safe, very successful race. If you have any questions, send me an email, find me at the volunteer tent. But yeah, that's
All right.
volunteer.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jenny. Again, a lot of hard work goes into setting up those volunteer registrations and Sign Up Genius. So thanks for all the work you've done. And folks, I just can't encourage you enough. We've got any weekend 200 plus volunteer spots. Let's just do the math real quick. We have 560 student athletes signed up. if half of those parents that are bringing those kids signed up for a volunteer spot, we'd be covered right now with that. And I will also mention local teams. If you are available Friday, what helps us start earlier on Saturday, which we're doing this year, really is a lot of Friday preparation. So I encourage you to come on out Friday and lend a hand, start pounding in some steaks with me and Ben, just so we can get everything set up. Let me talk about registration real quick, and then we'll pause for questions, and then we'll go into Saturday. Diane LeBlanc, if you dialed in early, you may have heard, is literally putting the race plates together for you all right now. So, head coaches, when you get there Saturday, come to the registration tent. Diane LeBlanc will have your team packet of student athlete plates and coach plates and the like. But what I wanted to do now is part of the reason we do these town halls is tell everyone about changes. And we do have a change for this season. We have a more formal late registration period. So registration, normal registration for all our events closes the Sunday before, and that was the case this week. That lets us do all the preparation we need to do. We need to confirm the wave schedule for the race. We need to do the registration things Diane's doing. Ben's making the pit zone map. We're doing a lot of things in between Sunday and the weekend, but I understand life happens. You miss the registration deadline, or hey, you want to wait to see what the weather calls on Thursday before you really make your decision. Okay, that's fine. That means we have a registration window open until midnight tomorrow night, so 11:59 in pit zone. You can still register for this event. It will cost you 10 extra dollars. And we will do our best. I make no promises here. We will do our best to get those athletes into the call-up list and publish that late Friday, maybe Saturday morning, so every student athlete is sorted for their start accordingly. But again, this is new for us, and we're going to do our best with that. It is always best if you register by that Sunday, so we know what the numbers are, and we have that time to plan that. So with that, let's pause and see if anyone has any questions about arrival to the venue, about camping, about volunteering or registration before we get into the schedule for Saturday and then Sunday. And again, if those questions relate to what's going on Saturday, Sunday, just pause. Let's make sure everyone has their questions answered about getting there and getting registered for the event. And Shell, do you want a status check on any questions from student athletes that might be related to some of the check-in and getting their questions?
I believe all the questions asked so far are ones we will cover a little later in the call, and I believe that Grace Novak was our first student athlete question.
Great. We will make sure. Let's just, yeah, keep me honest, and let's cover Grace's question when it's right to do so in the agenda. So thank you, Grace, for asking that question. All right. Anything from anyone about arrival, registration, and volunteering? Or the like. And the weather is probably on everyone's mind. I actually finished the town hall talking about weather. So I will cover that, what it's looking like this weekend. But Chris, it looks like you got a question, man.
So if say I signed up for camping and I decided that I don't want to camp in super cold weather and I'm going to change my mind and get a hotel, is there a way that I could pass that camping spot along to somebody if I decide to do that, or just kind of taking it as it is, or what? I'm assuming there might be some other folks that might feel the same way. So.
Please contact Brian Rabelais, and he's already done some swapsies with camping. So yeah,
just send it to the camping. Just send it to the camping email address.
Great. Okay.
Thank you.
That's a good question. Thank you, Chris. All right, so let's go to the Saturday schedule, and I'm about to turn over to Ben, but let me just give everyone a high-level overview of Saturday. And the high-level overview is essentially what has changed. If you're a veteran, you're used to doing weekends with us, there are some things that have changed for this season. One is pit zone is opening earlier, and Ben's going to cover that, what that looks like. But the reason pit zone is opening earlier is because we're starting things earlier. And the intent there is just give kids more time on the course, give kids more time in the adventure area, give them more time to do trail work. So we just wanted to give everyone more time. One of the ways we're able to do that is there is no coach course inspection this season. So we won't spend that time, an hour and a half in the morning, getting coaches around the course. So coaches, if you haven't been in Salisbury, race course preview video, look at the GPX file, the Ride with GPS, so you're familiar with that. And since most of our early coast inspection, the first two sessions are coach led, I think that's not a huge issue for us, but that's how we bought some time back for Saturday, which was a common feedback item from the league is, hey, I'm coming to ride and I just want to spend more time riding. So we have some more time to do that this Saturday. But I want to note that right off the bat, change, earlier start and more time out there, no coach course inspection for Saturday. And Sean will cover some more details on course inspection as part of the agenda. So Ben, over to you, sir. Give everyone a venue overview, and then, yeah, specifically how you're going to get folks in and out of pit zone, please.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brian. So as you come into the venue, you'll be greeted, like Brian said, by our parking or camping coordinators. If you're coming to pit zone for Friday volunteering, which I'm going to put a plug in, we certainly need your help. We've got slots to be filled and work to be done. So please, if you're available, come out Friday to help us set up. But you'll drive down this gravel road to your left. You'll come into the big open field where we typically have our pit zone set up. We'll be working diligently to get that marked out for you on Friday. There will be a road crossing right here because our race course perpendicular crosses the gravel road coming in. So on Saturday, when you arrive at 9:30, an earlier start, as Brian mentioned, you'll be allowed to come into pit zone. Please be mindful of people working and helping and walking. Drive your car into the area, and we'll have our volunteer pit zone parking coordinators direct you where to park on the sides. These three blue houses in the middle, if you click on the map itself, it'll actually tell you that that's registration. The next one's going to be volunteering, and then you'll have in the middle of there your merchandise. So all that will be located right there by the league trailer. So lots of foot traffic going on. So be aware of that as you're bringing in your vehicles to unload equipment. If you have team trailers, you would drive them all the way down and go into this gravel lot towards the bottom of pit zone and park them so you can unload them and bring the equipment up and down the hill so that we don't take up tons of space on the grass for people parking. We will stop traffic for a few minutes as our grit group of student athletes go out on a course inspection around 11:30. So please be mindful of our parking attendants or my loud, boisterous voice in stopping your motor vehicle from running me over. And then at 12:15, pit zone will close. You will not be permitted to get in with the vehicle, and we will run/tow all other vehicles left, and we'll sell them for more bike parts for whatever the value you can get for the vehicle. So please be mindful of those cutoff times in the venue guidance. This area is pit zone. This pink area is where all the teams will set up your tents. There is the link to that to the pit zone map if you're wondering where your team's going to be set up on which row. Unfortunately, this is not a vanilla straight rectangle. It is a sloped hillside, so look for your teams, find your teams. If you've got questions, ask. We may have to split up a few rows or two and move them around to make them fit on the venue. All of this area will be more than less no riding of bicycles unless you're in the start shoot to race your event. So be mindful of that. Look for all the flags. We will be doing all that setup Saturday morning to hopefully get your student athletes out on time to be able to do the course inspection. But we need volunteers to be able to do that. So I will keep asking and asking and asking for volunteers to help out. Other than that, there are locations on the maps if you want to look around to where you park team trailers when you're done. They do not stay in pit zone. I do believe we had them going up to I have to look on the map where that area is, but if not, I will reiterate that later on when I find it. But team trailers do not stay in pit zone. Any questions about the logistics of the major infield area of our event?
Hello.
As always, you can throw questions into the chat window, and when we're done with Saturday, we'll pause and make sure you've got any of your questions answered about pit zone or the venue that Ben went over. Ben, if you could turn your screen off, I'm going to throw or if you want to throw the flyer up, if you've got it handy. So let me go back to the event flyer just to show everyone an overview of Saturday and what it looks like, the schedule. And I wanted to start talking a little bit about, because this is our first town hall and it's been a while since we've seen each other, just, what we try to accomplish with our league events. Our mission is to get more kids on bikes, and really we're a youth development organization designed to grow lifelong mountain bikers. And we want our student athletes exposed to all aspects of mountain biking. So our league events, we try to put a little bit of each of the programs of those aspects of mountain biking into our league event. And you will definitely see that on Saturday. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you're going to have teen trail core opportunities. You're going to have adventure opportunities. You're going to have ability to ride the race course, which is part of our competition program, and certainly the Girls Riding Together program. That's all part of Saturday. We call that programs fusion. We're trying to provide those opportunities for the student athletes to experience those things they want to do as part of this wonderful community on the pursuit of being a lifelong mountain biker. I call it full spectrum mountain biker. That's what I do. I won't tell you how old I am, but I get out there, do some trail work, I race, I ride with friends, I ride with my wife. I'm part of a community, and that's what we're trying to embrace here in North. And so you will see that on Saturday. And so we're going to walk through each of those programs for Saturday. And what I'd like to do, I'd like to start with our grit committee. Angie, could you give everyone a preview, if you're a female student athlete, what can you do on Saturday? And you are, in fact, the first ones on the course on Saturday. So Angie, what you got for the female student athletes in the league?
That's right. Thanks, Brian. I'm Angie Tabor. I'm one of our Grit committee members. You will find me at the Grit tent all day on Saturday. There's going to be lots of things to do. It is our first event, so we have the pre-ride happening, and you can check in for the Grit pre-ride about 10:45. We won't roll out until about 11:30, but we'd love for you to check in early. Let us know you're there. And during that time, the Rider Development Project is going to have a goal setting station. They're also going to have the health and wellness group, and they're going to talk a little bit while the Grit pre-ride check-in is going on about managing that race day anxiety that sometimes goes on. They also want you thinking about, what are your goals for season 9? Brian mentioned it at the beginning, level up. We want you to have that opportunity to have community around you, set some goals, think about some SMART goals for yourself for the season. So Ada and Anne will be there, and they'll be encouraging you to set up some goals and goal setting. We'll roll out for the pre-ride. We'll roll out in groups, just like our normal NICA groups, with a coach in the lead and a coach sweeping, and groups of girls. And we'll go out and just do our pre-ride. Pre-ride is all about giving everyone an opportunity to check out the course, become familiar with the race course, sections of the course if we need to, but it's a chill pace. It's not meant to be fast. It's meant to be an opportunity to check things out. So we're excited to have you at the Grit tent. We are excited to take you out on a pre-ride. We've got some goal setting. And then from 3 to 4 in the afternoon, our mentor program is inviting all those mentors and mentees, just do some community building and new student athletes. We're going to do a photo scavenger hunt during that time. And so that's really what I've got, Brian. I'll kick it back to you, but please reach out if you have questions. You have a Grit coach on your team. Those Grit coaches can reach out to the Grit committee if they have questions. And we're really excited to see you at Salisbury.
Angie, I appreciate that. All the work you and the Grit committee put in particular, our Grit ambassadors put into taking care of the female student athletes. And I would say, if you're, again, first time in the league and if you're a parent of a female student athlete, like, bring them over to the Grit area and check, get connected. It's a great way to be a part of the league. So thanks for doing that, Angie, and looking forward to seeing those activities on Saturday. Back to the main page, and Grit pre-ride goes out a little bit early. Right about 11:30, we'll open the programs area. So Grit area will be open. but also our Teen Trail Corps area, and actually check in for our first trail work activities 11:15. So I'd like to turn over to Leonard Van Hoos now, our Teen Trail Corps coordinator, to talk about that opportunity and why Salisbury is pretty special to us as a league. Leonard, why don't you take it from there?
Sure. Hello, everybody. Saturday we do have two trail work sessions. I think they're actually both full now, which is great. I wish we had more room. We will have 10 activities. Come by the tent during the day. We'll have our normal yard games and come meet our ambassadors. And we've even got a new, I don't know, it's what to call it. You can build your own trail with some kinetic sand and push some toy bicycles around. And then from 3 to 4, we're having tool time to discuss care of tools, sharpening tools, what each tool's for. And student athletes did some work out there last week, and I've been getting some feedback about how fast the course is where they worked already. We did a lot of root mitigation last weekend. But just come by and see us at the TTC tent.
So thank you, Leonard, for all your work in the Teen Trail Corps program and specifically those multi-team events at Salisbury in advance. Just like you said, improving the race course out there. And everyone should be looking forward to riding something that we've invested in. I think that's what's cool about Salisbury. And I think we just cracked the 2,000 hour level in the league. We've got a goal of 6,000 hours of trail work this season. We're well on our way. This is just another opportunity to give back. And I know the community out there is appreciative of us taking care of their course reuse. That's part of what I think being part of our community is. We take care of the places we go. And let me say that for everyone. When I go to a place we've been to before and say, can we come back? The answer is typically an emphatic yes, because we take really good care of the places we are. They love having us there. So again, thanks, Leonard, for your leadership and all the Teen Trail Corps ambassadors and the committee members. It's fantastic. Looking forward to seeing you all again Saturday. Third program we'll talk about today is Adventure. 11:30 again. The Adventure area will be open. So let me turn over to Bill Barry. Bill, why don't you give an overview for everyone what they can expect as they come on into the Adventure area on Saturday?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. So the adventure area is right there adjacent to Grit and TTC areas. For those new to the league, so what we do in that area is we set up a series of ramps and skinnies and log overs to create a little bit of a skills obstacle course for all our student athletes. That's fun to test your skills on. We always say bring a friend, challenge your friend, and that's a great way to have fun. With that, we also have several off the bike games, cornhole, can jam, spike ball. So lots of ways to have fun both on the bike and off the bike in that adventure area. The other thing I want to highlight, super excited this year for the second year, we're going to be doing the adventure passports again. I've got mine in my hand. Well, not mine, but here. And so we'll be distributing them out to everyone who wants to come up to the adventure area. Come get your passport. For those very similar to last year, for those new this year, in this passport, there's going to be pages and pages of challenges that you can accomplish. And anytime that you accomplish one of the challenges, you get a coach to sign off on it. If you bring that back to the adventure area, then it can get stamped for achieving it. And as part of that, one of the things we're going to do during the day is we're going to set up one of the challenges as an activity. In particular, using a map and compass of the trail map area to kind of explore and understand how you can use a map and compass to map out what you want to do on your bike ride. Last thing I just want to plug from the adventure area, we'll also be distributing the race plate badges for teams that have submitted, awarded their student athletes race plate badges. You can come and pick them up there to bring them back to your team tent area and distribute them to your to the student athletes that you nominated for those badges. So a ton of fun. Hope to see a lot of you out there on Saturday. I'll kick it back to you, Brian.
Bill, thanks so much. That's a great overview. If anyone's got any questions about what to expect in Adventure or the passport, throw them in the chat, throw it out to Bill. Happy to answer those questions. Okay, last part of Saturday is course inspection, and I'll turn over to Sean Moore, who's our Director of Coach and Team Development. All head coaches will see Sean at 11:15 this morning. That's a little earlier than normal to give an overview of the day and any changes for Saturday. But Sean, could you walk everyone through our course inspection procedures for the league that we've done for a couple seasons now?
Yes. First, though, I want to mention that we will not be doing a coach only preview of the course. That is something that we've cut out simply because there's so much in the schedule that we just didn't have time. And we felt that it wasn't as important as it was to get student athletes out on the course. So beginning at 11:15, we'll have that meeting, and then 12:30, the race course will open up for course inspection, and that will be the red flag period. And red flag period is for just student athletes that race one lap only. As Brian mentioned, we have 560 student athletes registered. We simply cannot put all 560 student athletes out at one time, along with all of the coaches, and have it be anything other than just a big conga line that nobody gets anything accomplished with. So this red flag period is for just your student athletes that race one lap. Multi-lap racers should not be on course. They should be back in the pit zone, setting up, chilling out, whatever. Then after 12:30, we will switch from red flag to yellow flag at 2 o'clock. And 2 o'clock is the course inspection for just multi-lap racers. So anyone who races more than one lap, this is their time to go out, and these are all coach led. So in these two inspection times, I would really say you should be thinking about this as a single slow lap. This is not you going out and doing race pace or anything like that. And the other issue that we run into is we do have a lot of people who will be on course at the same time. You will be stopping and waiting. There may be teams that stop because of an issue, or they want to stop and take a look at something more closely. You may pass another team only if the head coach from that team says, go ahead and go around us. Otherwise, just please stop and wait off trail so that we're not causing any blockages. And then after that period at 3:30, we will open up the course for anyone, any student athlete who has a ride buddy. As long as there is more than a single student athlete going out, they can go out and ride on their own. And this period will last from 3:30 until 5:30. 5:30 is when the, or excuse me, 5:30 is when the course is closed, but they can only go out for their final lap if they're heading out before 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, coaches, you can meet me at the start line, and at 5:10, we will head out for a sweep lap. If you do not make it there by 5:10, you are not able to go out on course. So when we leave, that's it. That's the group that goes. When we get back, the course is officially closed, and there's no more bikes allowed on course until Sunday morning, where we start to race. I've seen a couple of other questions that were kind of related. I would like to encourage everyone. I've gotten questions that are like, what are starts like? Things like that. Go to our YouTube channel. We have plenty of race footage. We have course footage. You will see what starts look like. You will see what the race course looks like. You'll see lots of information there. It's way better than me describing it to you. So you can see what that's like. And then there's also been some questions about what if my jersey doesn't arrive in time. So the rules state that you need to be wearing something that is recognizable that you are on a team. It does not specify that it has to be a jersey, but I would encourage those of you that are members of older established teams, ask coaches, ask your head coach. There are jerseys kicking around that nobody uses anymore, or that a coach might have that they can let you borrow for the event. So talk with your team about that. And then the other is I've seen a couple of questions of like, what do I need to watch out for in order to not get a penalty? So there is a NICA handbook. And part of whenever you registered was you signed saying that you had read and you understood all of the things in the NICA handbook. So I would definitely take a look at the NICA handbook and look at what those rules are that you are being governed by. And then also this season with head coaches, I've been discussing talking about setting standards. So our standards, and you will hear us reminding you of this all weekend, are to talk about being present, being prepared, and being polite. And so there's lots of stuff that go underneath those rules wise, but I would familiarize yourself with those three standards and take a look at the rule book to see what those rules are that would fall into those. And if you have any questions, talk with your head coach. Does that cover it all, Brian?
That's a good overview, Sean. Thank you very much for that. And we'll pause here for questions about Saturday. But as a segue, and I've got the event flyer up. Reminder, coaches, when you're leading these course inspection rides, please have a copy of the emergency action plan with you. It is linked here on the flyer. We do not have emergency services on site on Saturday. If you run into something and have an issue on the trail beyond your ability to care for it with your first aid training, we tell you to follow the EAP and call 911 essentially, so you can get some help. Sunday, different story. We have EMS on site, and we're about to talk about that. So let's pause there, see what questions still remain about Saturday. And Shell, can you give us a status check on the student athletes again? Did Grace get her question answered, or do we need to cover that now?
Completely honest, I don't remember what Grace's question is, and I'm scrolling to the top, but there's a lot of questions.
There's a lot of questions. That's why we do this.
It's a first thing tomorrow morning question. So it's a Sunday question. So
okay, so we're about to get to it. Fair enough. All right. Shell, who's number 2 in the student athlete questions?
I am also not sure on that at this point because I am not sure which ones are student athletes and which are not.
Everyone better
So
tell
the
us who
new
you are.
rule for the
Right.
future is identify yourself as a student athlete before posing your question.
Yeah, we'll have to cover that. We'll do the best job we can to cover that up. Greg, was that your hand up? I saw you come on screen. Do you have a Saturday question?
I have a Saturday question about the red flag. It looked like Sean was recommending that we break even our one lappers into 2 different groups.
Yeah.
Is that right? I was trying to read that and have my mind in a lot of this divided into 2 groups.
You'll be able to move through a little bit quicker if it's a smaller group. When teams go out, like if a big team goes out and they've got like 40 kids, that's a huge log jam. So I recommend like trying to break it down into just like you would on a ride, that 2-to-8 ratio, and stagger those starts. So send kind of your groups out. And there's plenty of time. So when you see everybody piled up there waiting to jump out on course, you can hang back. And if you wait, half an hour and then go out, you'll probably run into the people that were waiting in line because that's how long it will take them to, be making forward progress. So if you stagger your starts, don't all try to rush out at once. There's plenty of time to do a single lap with your team. So just kind of use your head as to how you set it up.
Cool. Makes sense. Sounds like it's for like a lot bigger teams than 7 one-lappers, right? When you said 40, it sort of made it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you see some of the teams, they're huge. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
And thank you for the question, Greg. I appreciate that. All right, let me start talking about Sunday, and we won't spend a lot of time on Sunday. It's race day. Sunday is race day, and those that have been with the league kind of know what that looks like. But let me go to the current race schedule for Sunday and talk about a couple changes. So we have some different things this season. That's what I wanted to highlight. One, we're a 4-wave schedule vice a 5, which a lot of people are used to. And one of the major changes in high school coaches, composite teams with high school to pay attention to this. JV3 boys is leading wave 1. And we did that for a very specific reason. We had them at the end of the wave one last season. We gave a huge gap between the JV3 boys and the sixth grade girls to make sure there wasn't a lot of passing. Putting them up front and adding two new categories this season, basically our fifth graders, boy and girl, moving JV3 boys up front saves us an hour on the day. That's the bottom line. It saved us a lot of time. And with adding two new categories and still trying to get done before sunset and get you all back on the road to go home, this is what the race committee put together and said, hey, probably the best shot at getting through everything on Sunday. And so those are the big changes for Sunday. You've got JV3 boys starting at wave one, and then we've got two new categories, fifth grade boys and fifth grade girls, to incorporate into the day. And looking forward to that. We got 50 plus fifth graders in the league. We're part of the pilot program, one of the only leagues in NICA doing fifth graders right now. And we're excited to see them out there. But it was a lot. And again, 560 student athletes currently. We need to find some efficiencies in our schedule. And that was one of the ways to do it for this year. So those are the big changes for Sunday. Let me talk briefly again about live results. Go to the website. As students cross finish line, you'll see a time. We have track boxes in the woods. You can almost track them on the course, and we're going to try the live finish line video on there. Sean, keep me honest here. Let me go to the map again. Hopefully everyone is seeing that, but we are not doing trail work on Greenbrier Trail this year. The trail work is going to be down here in this section of the venue. And because of that, Greenbrier Trail is open for riding on Saturday. We're going to open that at 12:30 on Saturday. So it's an excellent opportunity to go ride with your athletes. That is coach led, just like any other ride we would do in NICA. And Greenbrier will be open on Sunday for warm up as well. I believe, Sean, we said starting at 8:30, and that's in the course inspection guidance. That's a good warm-up area for student athletes. That is also coach led. We had a student athlete break a collarbone unsupervised out there last season. We don't want to see that. So Greenbrier Trail still available Saturday and Sunday for riding, and wanted to point that out to everyone. All right. Let's see. Grace had a question about Sunday morning. Let's cover that now, and then I'll go over the awards plan, then I'll talk about weather. Michelle, did you find Grace's question, or is Grace on the line? We can take care of that now.
I asked, what would we do if it was too cold in the race morning?
All right, let me talk about weather now, Grace. You're moving me into the weather discussion, but that's okay. Based on what I see right now, and we do our weather call Thursday at 11:15 in the morning. We've got a professional weather service this season that has been giving me forecasts since Sunday of this week, and we'll meet together tomorrow at about 11:15 to make a decision about the weekend. That's our standard. We do it for every event. Based on the forecast I see now, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a delay Sunday morning. And that is driven by our cold weather policy. Coaches, you can find that policy in the coach resource section of our website. But based on what anticipated wind chills are at 9 o'clock at our normal start time, it's going to be 30 degrees, maybe down in the 20s. And that's what we call code orange. And code orange means you need to modify your plan, postpone it, or cancel it. And I don't want to cancel anything, particularly the first event of the season. So we're probably going to wait till it warms up, at least get us into code yellow to start the day. If that happens and we make that decision tomorrow, I will update the event flyer on the website and you will have the revised schedule. We'll send out a team snap notice. Here's the decision on whether we're going this weekend or we're modifying the schedule. So everyone will know as soon as the weather call is concluded tomorrow what the decision is for the weekend. So likely, Grace, because it's super, super cold Sunday morning, we're going to delay some, but we're still going to pull off a race. It's nice and clear, and I think we'll still have a good time. Likely what happens, those that have been around the league know, when you start later, you condense your day by reducing the number of laps for your multi-lap categories. And that's basically the best we can do to still finish before the sun goes down, and again, get you all home. But more to follow on that. So Grace, was that sufficient? answer to your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Grace, for asking the question. So, Bidlock card for you. Stop by registration this weekend and pick that up. Thanks again. I will say, almost regardless of what the temperature is, at a later start, still going to be cold. So coaches, make sure your athletes are dressing appropriately. And typically what we do, Sean will cover this in the coach brief, we will let student athletes wear warming layers into the start chute. And about a minute before the start goes off, you can hand that stuff off to a coach or a parent outside the start chute so you can stay warm before your race. Okay, Ben Harbor, you've had your hand up. Do you have anything before I cover award plan, and then we'll pause for questions?
Yes, one thing that was in the chat, that I'm thankful that I have other student athletes with my same passion. Andrew Pitts asked what food trucks are here. And yes, I ride so I can eat. Great question. On February 21st, the league sent out a single track times email to all parents, all coaches, everybody involved in the league, and it documents those two food trucks. It is not in any of our documentation here. It's being shared today, but I will give you a preview from digging through emails. We have returning is this little piggy barbecue food truck, as well as Soul to Bowl and our slushy truck. They will be coming out to visit us this weekend. So food will be on site because there's no way I can function without it. So thank you, Andrew, for reminding me of that. Back over to you, Brian.
One of my jobs on the weekend is to make sure Ben is well fed because he is our operations manager and makes everything happen on the weekend. So got to make sure he's got his calories. All right, so we're the end of the day, Sunday. We go to podiums. We want to recognize all the awesomeness we've seen all weekend, and so this will seem familiar to most people that have been with the league for a while, but just want to give everyone a preview of what to expect. We'll actually start recognizing our volunteers for the weekend, just like Jenny mentioned. We've got some prizes from sponsors. We'll give every volunteer a raffle ticket. We'll pull those and we'll award those prizes right off the bat. Then we'll cover middle school awards, both individual and team awards. For the individuals, league sponsor Ridge Supply providing podium socks again, which is pretty cool. And then we played around with this a little bit last season, but we'll do it again this season. We will have a King of the Mountain, Queen of the Mountain segment out on the race course. And coaches and kids, you will see that marked on Saturday during course inspection, and the fastest athlete in each category that accomplished that segment will be recognized, and we'll put your bragging rights up on the results board so you can see who was fastest through that segment. We'll do that all season. So we'll give you a shout out during podiums. In between middle school and high school, we'll recognize our Teen Trail Corps students, those that have gotten 5 hours or 10 hours, 25 hours. We've got some prizes for 10 hours as a water bottle, 25 hours t-shirt, and then a set of gloves for 35 hours a season. Those student athletes that achieve those goals will be recognized during podiums in between middle school and high school. And then high school award, same thing, individual, then team. And then as we've done for several seasons, we'll award 2 Stoke Sticks to the teams that we believe are most fully invested in the weekend. What we mean by that is we see them not only cheering for themselves, but they're cheering for other teams. They've done up their pit zone, or kids are wearing costumes in the theme for the event. This is a Super Mario Brothers theme, so we'll probably see a lot of cool things out there. Those teams, parents, kids, coaches, that are helping out, lending a helping hand, just showing some great sportsmanship, all those values Sean talked about, being positive, being present, being prepared. Those teams are doing a really good job of that. We'll award Stoke Sticks at the end of the day, and then get you all out of there as soon as we can. So with about 4 minutes left, that was a long one, but fully expect that with our first event of the season, and appreciate you all dialing in. Are there any unanswered questions? And Shell, can we do just the best job we can of identifying the second and third student athlete questions, make sure they're answered?
I think Oliver Jensen was our second.
All right. Is Oliver's question answered? Oliver, you want to throw it out there on the table for us?
He wondered what the differences were between last season's course and this season.
Not a lot. It's about the same course as last season. again, we get out there Friday, something changes, or we have a decision like, okay, better to route it this way or that way. That's what happens, but really no major changes from last season, Oliver. So thank you for asking that question. You will get your Cognitive MTB jersey card at registration this weekend. Stop on by and pick it up. And Greg, you got another question, but no prize for you. You're not a student athlete.
I see that there was a question up here about younger siblings allowed. I have a younger daughter. I think the answer is that they're not allowed to ride around. Is that true?
That is correct. The riding, the activities are all for registered student athletes in the league. That's correct, Greg.
Right. Like not even on the Greenbrier Trail or around parking lots and things like that. We're all true.
We don't police riding around the parking lot, and I don't encourage it or advise it anyway, Greg. But on the course that I own, which includes Greenbrier, in the adventure area, that's for registered student athletes only.
Right. Just want to make
Yep.
sure it's completely clear. So thank you.
Absolutely. And Shell, what do we think? Can we identify number 3 student athlete?
I'm trying to read the comments, and then when something gets added, it bumps me back down to the bottom.
Well, while we're waiting, does anyone have an unanswered question we weren't able to get to in the chat window or during the call? Happy to field that now.
Can I ask? I asked about if y'all could send me an invite to the NCICL Team Snap page, because I never got an invite to it.
Reed said to reach out to him at practice, Noah, because you'll have to speak to your own team about that. Unless you're talking about the Teen Trail Core one, which you'll need to send me an email.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for covering that, Shell.
Quick
Yes, sir.
question about Team Snap. Other than our own team, are there any other like NC NICA teams that we should be on as parents of student athletes?
No.
Yeah, go ahead, Shell.
Sorry. It's all just team based. Like we don't have like any kind of chat or anything like that happens. As the league admins, we can send a mass email out to everyone that's in Team Snap. But that's the extent of it. There's not a lot of functionality for us. And there's not really any teams that are like, just for parents or things like that. It's all just team based. It's just a way for your team to communicate with each other.
Are you utilizing Team Snap for camping?
We use the registration function for camping. And so when you go to that registration page, it's being run through Team Snap. And so you're usually added to like a team that'll be like the camping area that you signed up for, and you'll be able to look at that. If you look at your Team Snap app on your phone, up at the top where you see your team, if you click that, there's a little drop down and you'll see the other things that you may have been added to if you're registering for camping and things like that. So yeah.
Based on timestamps, I think Anna Heightfield was our third student athlete. Question.
Oh, fantastic. What was the question, or was it answered?
Oh, I don't know. And Morton Jensen wondered what the reason is for moving MSA to Boys Wave 4.
Speed, essentially, and they've been in that wave before. They're again an advanced category, and you've only got 3 categories to deal with down there in wave 4. That's the idea. They're running pretty quick, and typically no issues with them being in wave 4. But if you have a concern about that, reach out to me about why they're down there. But we've done that before with some pretty good results. I see Sasha. Am I pronouncing that right? Sasha has a question.
Yes. Well, we were wondering if there was any team care, I mean trail care stuff that was done not on Saturdays.
We do not have any team trail core activities planned for Sunday, so no trail work, and the TTC area will not be set up on Sunday. It is Saturday only. Hope that answers your question.
Is it that way all season?
It's pretty much that way all season. Race day is pretty involved, and we need to make sure everyone's paying attention to pulling off that race. So there's usually very few other activities on Sunday that we do. So yeah, most of the other programs are on Saturday.
Okay, thank you.
And we did get Anna's question covered.
Great. So Anna, yeah, go to registration, set of cognitive gloves gift card for you. So thank you very much for that. And then I think I see Elliot has a hand up.
So, is there any time to preview the course like by yourself on Saturday? Or does it have to be with a coach?
Sean, would you like to take that one?
Yes. So during the free ride portion, that will start at, I believe it's at 3 o'clock or 3:30. Let me double check my times.
3:30. 3:30.
3:30. So at 3:30, that begins the free ride, and you can't do it by yourself. You need to have someone else with you. That doesn't have to be a coach. It can just be somebody else your age that you go riding with.
Thank you for the question, Elliot. I appreciate
Does that
it.
answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
And while I've got the mic, there's a question in the chat. How do we download the TeamSnap app to register for camping? So you don't need the app to register for camping. If you click on the link, it's just a registration page. But if you are wanting to see the information that is like location or things like that, then having the app, it will add you to a team, but you don't need the app in order to register for camping.
Gary Baum is curious when the designs for leaders' jerseys are going to be released.
I think when we hand them out on Sunday, Gary, and I can't wait to share them with everyone. And we'll take one more question from Eliana, and then we're going to call it a night. If you've got remaining questions, your head coach is a great resource to do that. And head coaches know how to reach out to me, Sean, or other people on the staff about answering your question. So Eliana, you have the honor of the last question of the town hall.
So, will the podium socks have the same design as last season or a different design?
No, that will also be revealed on Sunday. A different design this season, Eliana, for podium socks. That might match fairly well to the leader jersey. It's the season theme of level up an arcade game. So good question, Eliana. And hey, everyone, thank you so much for dialing in tonight for our town hall. Like I started at the beginning, looking forward to seeing you this weekend. We miss you all year. So all 560 of you pointed to Salisbury. So again, carpool. Coming out there and dress warm. Sunday is going to be pretty chilly. Like I said, we'll do the weather call 11:15 tomorrow, and right after that, team snap message and something on social media to tell everyone what the decision is. But be safe on your way out there. And again, looking forward to seeing you. And thank you everyone for participating tonight. Thanks so much.